seen like 90s Amir Khan or even Salman Khan movies where like it's just so problematic. Like if you go back and watch those movies right now, they're
Yes,
just
I'm very
every
aware.
point is so problematic. You're like, no, don't. You can't use coercion. You can't force a girl to like you. You can't bully somebody and expect them to fall in love with you.
I can't believe you're saying 90s as if this is not exactly what Salman Khan is doing right now. Hi, we are.
NoonaTalk.
I'm Zara.
And I'm Sophia.
And welcome back to season 3. We're back. Woo! I mean, whatever the break was, it was a break. We are rested. We have watched all the K dramas. We have listened to all the K pop. We have read all the tea. And we're back with season 3. There may be
Yeah,
some background changes happening. There will be other scheduling changes happening. But other than that, you can
and
watch
we'll
all
have
of our
more
content.
news.
Yes. More news, more concerts, so many things will be happening. But in the meanwhile, you can stay tuned here on YouTube or on all podcasting platforms. You can like this video and subscribe to stay updated for whenever the videos do come out. We're also on Instagram at NoonaTalk, exactly like it sounds, where we're doing like giveaways every month, basically,
Oh my
for
God. Yeah.
you.
And it's like crazy. You're getting albums worth like 3,000 bucks.
We're back with a very popular K drama. Like, this
Yeah,
is.
because you must be like, why are they talking about Salman Khan? But guys, this is like the equivalent of Maine Pyar Kiya of K dramas. Okay.
Even before I started watching K dramas, I knew about Boys Over Flowers.
Same.
Everybody
Even
talks about Boys Over
I
Flowers.
did. I didn't even know anything about South Korea, but like all my roommates from Northeast would like watch Boys Over Flowers, and it was such a thing.
Strangely enough, somehow both of us have avoided watching it. So finally, we decided to do a K drama or K flop, which, in case you are new to the channel, is a series that we have done where we watch the first episode of extremely popular K dramas to decide whether it's worth continuing to watch, as in a K drama, or not so much a K flop.
Okay, flop.
So, Boys Over Flowers, yeah, that's the
Yeah. Honestly,
biggest question mark.
I've avoided watching this show just because of the hairstyles. Like I would look at the photo and the hair used to be so bad that I would be like, no, I don't want to watch this. But we sucked it up
Mhm.
and we watched it. And also, I think this is also the establishing show for Lee Min Ho, who is like, everybody fell in love with him through this show. And it is the one that came up with all the K drama tropes, like the intro song with "But You Are My
I didn't even know this was from this show. But let's go watch the show, then we'll be back with our opinions. I have watched Coffee Prince, and I watched it because again it was very hyped and everybody said like, oh, such an iconic K drama.
Love."
I did not enjoy that experience, and I fear that Boys Over Flowers may be joining that club.
I don't know. Like honestly, I had no expectations because it was like a very old K drama, so I expected it to be like issuey. But what really surprised me is that the plot was not what I expected. I thought it'll be like four boys fighting for this one girl, but this is like poor girl, rich high school, and she's a rebel. Like I love that.
And she's the rebel, but they're anti-heroes.
Yeah, except the blonde guy. He's like secretly nice to her.
Okay, so basically, we meet our main protagonist who is from the rougher side of town, in the sense that she is definitely like working a
Poor,
side
her
job.
parents are like laundry people. She's delivering laundry to the school where this guy is trying to kill himself, and she saves him. And they give her a scholarship to attend the school. And then we find out that the school is like it's basically a chaebol school. Like all the rich kids from everywhere go there, and it has this like famous flower four. I don't know what they're called. These four boys who are like the chaebol of the chaebols. Like one of their father actually owns the company that owns the school, and
School,
they're
yeah.
super bullies, and everyone worships them, and they're supposed to be these like beautiful men, but they also like pick. They basically find a person to pick on, and then they get everybody to bully that person out of the school, and
Yeah,
that is
they
the
don't even do the actual bullying. They get
yeah.
other people to do the bullying, which I thought was very interesting.
And smart, because if you're rich, why are you like, what is the point of all this
Getting
bullying?
your
You
hands
have to do the
dirty.
bullying. Yeah. And they would just hang
Um,
out in this lounge for no reason, like just the few of them.
yeah. There were a lot of wigs, a lot of antiquated dialogues. Like even the translations were like old fashioned. Um, I think there is romance. We haven't seen it so far. There is an enemies to lovers arc. I think that's going to progress through
Hmm.
this between the main chaebol and our main lead protagonist.
No. But there are two of them. So I ended up watching a bit more than Zara did. So I know something that happens afterwards, which is, get ready for spoilers. The main evil chaebol who hates her and keeps bullying her also falls in love with this girl, but this girl is in love with the other guy who keeps saving her, who's like the second
There's a
chaebol.
love triangle.
It's a quadrilateral because that guy is also like in love with some really famous actress person who's they're like childhood best friends, and we don't know like what their scene is yet, but as far as we know, he keeps like helping her out, and all his friends are like, oh, why are you helping the poor girl out? But he keeps doing that, so she falls in love with him because of that. So there is like masala.
Okay, let's get into like our pros and cons. What's a pro
Okay.
for you for the show? What are your
I just think the
pros?
plot is actually interesting because we've just stopped doing these basic plots like rich boy, poor girl. We just stopped doing it. It's
Is that the
nice.
only pro?
No, I think my favorite part is the female protagonist. The fact that I don't know why I expected her to be this like submissive, pretty girl or whatever, but she is a rebel. She
Mm.
doesn't care about her looks. She doesn't care about money, and she's kind of stuck in the situation, and she's just going through the motions. But she's also like strong. She'll stand up against bullying. Like she knows what's right and wrong, and she's not hesitant to stand up against it. And yeah, that's what I mean. Where we've stopped being so old fashioned, where we got like shows with a message, and this is such a strong, like, good person
Like
message.
moral story wale shows.
Yeah, like strong moral vibes, and I think that was interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was quite surprising to me as well when she did turn out to have a bit more of a backbone than you expect in such storylines. Um,
Hmm.
this is going to be a shocking pro from me, but I'm here for the wigs. Normalize wig culture, guys. The wigs are awful quality, and for the time period, were very trendy. Like that was the hair everyone had. It was a great use of wigs, and it made it iconic. Like it may not be
That's
iconic in the good way, but it made it iconic.
like an identity piece.
Correct, correct. And what other
Hmm.
shows have you seen getting like fame for such a trivial thing, right? Like it's one
Yeah,
of those.
wigs.
Yeah, correct. I think the writing. Oh, sorry, I was going into my cons so quickly. Um, I think the pros I was they were very like archetypes. Like you're right. It
Hmm.
because पुराने जमाने के archetypes जो
Yeah,
होते थे
like the
of writing
good,
characters.
good, poor, evil, rich, like very interesting. And like
Yeah, we had
struggling, like
that.
rich boy who doesn't agree with the morals of the evil rich conglomerate.
Yeah, which no doesn't exist. Like now we're doing all of this mehnat of writing these complex human characters.
Yeah,
Why?
great
Like let's go
characters.
back to like yeah, give me one thing that character does, and that is the only identifying feature. Okay,
Okay, another
do you have
pro,
more?
I think, or not even pro, just like I found it interesting was that it shows Seoul, the city, but we're so used to seeing like new era Seoul, and it's such a crazy way to see the city and the way it was, and it was in this like hyper metropolitan filled with skyscrapers kind of a area, which I don't know how it was in 2009, but it feels closer to it because it is like city shots as opposed to all set shots.
Something again like not a pro either. It's just something that if you are somebody who hasn't watched Boys Over Flowers and it is something that is potentially on your list, one of the easiest correlated thing that I could think of was Gossip Girl, especially like the early seasons when they are in high
Hmm.
school, because it is a
Yeah.
super elite private school and they have
Hmm.
the mean bullying clique thing going on as well.
And the poor girl.
um
Poor girl.
and a poor girl who comes, yeah, so
Who
there are
doesn't live in a
a lot of
Brooklyn
like
studio apartment.
whose father is a musician. Like he was a rock star in the 80s. Like Like the way we just ignore that. And a mother is an artist as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like who's paying for all of this generational wealth?
I mean, the money from music royalties as well, I'm assuming.
But it also, like, you talk about Gossip Girl, but to me it also felt a lot like high school animes. Like there are a lot of these tropes, especially like the bullying and the ganging up, and everyone watches while these beautiful men come, and there's like light coming, and then one person's getting bullied, and there's a lot of like groupism and things like that. So a lot of high school animes also have. It felt very much like anime live action more than
That's
anything.
a great way for me to start talking about my cons, because this was something I remember asking during our viewing of the episode as well. And I need to ask this now also. If somebody is bullying you, why do you go like look at them? Like stay away. Like I feel like there were just logical inconsistencies for me, like where it is things like this, where if you know somebody is going to be bad to you and you are going to get like food dumped on you, or you may be targeted for bullying, then why would you go out of your way to stand near them? Then you're going to just get picked on, right? Like silly. It is problematic, I think. Like obviously sensitivity wasn't the same as it was back then. These sort of things do make it a harder show to watch now, knowing what
Hmm.
we like, being more aware and knowing what we do and all of that. Like it is a harder pill to swallow, so you do need to suspend that wokeness thoda. Like hata ke dekhna hai agar
Hmm.
dekhna hai to. But which doesn't necessarily, like, it's not a con for the show as such. Like it's just
But for you as a
times
viewer,
have
right? You want to.
changed. Times have changed.
Yeah,
What
true.
about
I
you?
agree. Like things like misogyny, the kidnapping, and all of that. Sure, it makes it spicy or whatever, but like it is like you're like, mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think a lot of it. And another thing, which I mean, we did discuss where everyone's an archetype, but it's kind of shallow. Like something about her family feels very shallow to me, where they're just like super hyper people. Another pro, I think, is definitely the protagonist's
The
brother.
brother.
Cutest, most expressive, like computer whiz kid, another archetype. But that yeah, but honestly, like everything felt very shallow, which I mean, it is like a fluff show. I agree, but yeah, it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, and the writing feels a little like there are inconsistencies in the writing. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's
But
literally,
honestly, this is better than a lot of K dramas that we have watched, like even new
like
age
even
K
recent
dramas.
ones, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
like I think
Descendants of the Sun,
world
तो मर के
building
भी
is
ना
done
देखूं
very well.
लेकिन ये फिर भी देख सकते हैं.
Like world building is done. Like I like the creating of that. Like you kind of go into that world, and I think that's kind of cool. Is it a K drama or is it a K flop?
Okay, I'll go first. Just for me personally, it's a K flop, but I honestly wouldn't not recommend it. Like if somebody said, "Oh, I want to watch this," I don't think I'd say, "Hey, don't." Which is not the
Hmm.
same case for a lot of the other shows on this series where we have declared it a K flop.
Yeah.
But just I know I can't make myself watch it, but I
Mhm.
wouldn't stop somebody else, or even like question somebody else's decision.
Yeah. Like, okay, for me, it is a K drama. I think it has like this iconicity, obviously, because it is Boys Over Flowers. It's got the, star cast. It set the tone of a lot of things. In fact, when you watch it, you can understand how K dramas of today, especially romantic K dramas, came to be. Like, you can see the progression. And if you have grown up on like Bollywood movies or even like rom coms, you kind of also feel those elements of that's it is it has a certain nostalgic factor to somebody who's
And a
not grown up on
familiarity.
yeah on these as well. So for me it's a K drama. But if you say Boys Over Flowers is your favorite K drama, then I will judge you.
But yeah, so that was our review of Boys Over Flowers, the iconic, the most popular K drama at this point, I think. What did you think? Have you seen it? Let us know in the comments below. Did you agree with our reviews? Because pretty
And did
mixed.
it
Like
make
I
you
found
fall in love with Lee, because I think I've met so many people who are like, oh, I like that's how I got into K culture. Like it's been a lot of people's introduction. Like Boys Over Flowers is like the BTS of like K drama. Do
is
you
the
agree?
gateway
What do you
drug.
think?
It is the gateway drug to the Hallyu wave. But yeah, let us know in the comments below. We will be back with a brand new episode. We have changed our scheduling where we're not doing weekly episodes anymore, but every alternate week on our YouTube channel and all podcasting platforms. So make sure that you tune in for that. I was Zara.
And I was Sophia. Bye.